so today we're going to put a binding on the edge of these baby blankets. So we first have to cut the fabric, and we folded it so that it's stretchy. Can you show how it's
crosswise grain. Crosswise grain has a little give to it.
Okay.
Crosswise grain.
So if I pulled it the other direction,
it wouldn't
stretch.
Not
okay.
much. Not
so
much.
I have it straightened off and folded over. So we're just going to cut strips of how long?
I am cutting these 2 1/4 inches.
Okay.
And I'm measuring just as one. If normally when I do this, I have it flipped the other way, but this works just fine. Okay, 2 inches.
2 1/4.
Yeah, 2. Well, you can see it's 2 1/4.
Yep.
2 1/4 inches. Some of them say cut it 2 1/2, but I like 2 1/4. It's not as wide a binding. So. Measure, kind of like this to see how much, extra I need. Yeah, I got plenty. Now I go to the ironing board. So now it's important to don't go this way. You have to go this way so it folds over. It's from this end and leave that, and then I'm going to go there to that corner to that corner. That's going to be my stitching line. I cut
1/4 inch there.
1/4 inch, and then I'm going to press those open. And then that makes one continuous strip. So I'm pressing 1/4 inch, press it down flat. And then I go to this other end, and I'm going to press this like I did before on an angle. And then I'm going to trim that 1/4 inch. Like so. Then I'm going to fold it over like this way.
Yep.
And then I am going to fold this in half all the way down. That makes my strip of binding. And after I get that folded, just to keep it kind of together, I just start at the, and so then here on so I have a neat little pile ready to start
sewing.
Start sewing.
Okay.
Right there, you want to start so you have some space there. So start right there to sew.
I don't want to start at
No, you do not want to start up here.
Because then I want everything to tuck in. It'll be sewn.
No, you can't tuck it in.
Okay, and I put on a 1/4 inch foot, and I'm going to sew at a 1/4 inch, or maybe just a tiny bit less than
Just
a 1/4 inch.
Scant 1/4 inch.
Okay, and we'll get to the corner and then show you what to do.
And I often have to do this because my fingers are...
Fingers are what?
Well, I can't get my fingers up there and can't see where I'm going.
Oh, I see.
And I don't want to get the needle in my finger. at all.
Probably be a bad idea.
Whoa. Now I'm going to angle it this way and come off to this corner here. And then I cut it. And then I come around to this corner. I fold it up like this, so that's nice and angled there.
You have a nice 90-degree angle.
Yes, and then I fold it back over it, and I want to make sure I have that up there.
Lined up with the edge of the fabric. Okay.
Yeah, clear up there. And then I can start sewing right there again.
That's your 1/4 inch.
Yeah. And then these little things, you know, they're okay. I could have trimmed them off.
That's where we put the 2 pieces of fabric together.
Right, and I usually just trim those off. So make sure I got enough fabric here. And sometimes when I'm binding, what I do is to sew 1/8 of an inch all the way around this to begin with.
Just to hold it together.
To hold it together, so I'm not getting this shifting, like I'm getting a little bit of shifting right here. See? So, that's, especially if you have it, you know, batting in there, layers, it's very important to do that.
Got it.
But you don't want to do it 1/4 of an inch, just a little bit, just to hold it.
Like an 1/8.
Uh-huh.
Mark on your 1/4 of an inch.
Uh-huh. And I don't need to mark that ahead of time, it's just when I'm coming to it. And then I shift this around, come off this corner, cut. And then I do this again. Fold this up, like so. And then I fold it back down, like so. And I want to make sure that I have that up, you know, even with that fold.
That fold is even with the edge of the...
Yeah, right. Then I just start again and sew right there.
At a 1/4 inch.
Uh-huh. I usually put a pin in here to hold that up there good. I don't want that
shifting on you.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Kenzie. Am I doing okay? folded it up, and I'm double checking to make sure it's just even there. I'm just making sure that's nice and smooth there without a ripple.
Okay.
And then you want to bring me a scissors. So I'm going to fold this in there, but I will just cut this off at an angle so I don't fold all this in.
Don't have so much extra.
Yeah, and then actually, no, I can just leave that in there. And then I'm going to, when I get down here, I've got to fold it in here. And I usually pin that too. So hand me one of those pins, somebody. And then I just sit right on down here. There are other ways to do binding so it's not as noticeable, but I have never mastered that very well. Maybe Carrie has. Where you pulled it up and I do all this stuff. But. Now I have to continue down here to where you started.
Okay.
Bingo. Well, when I get ready to, I fold it up like this, but I'm on the back side so I fold it up like this and down, but I wouldn't be at the corner starting this. I would be coming up there.
Oh, yeah.
So, but that, I fold it like that, and then I hand sew this all the way around. And they say you should have enough there to fill up this whole, slot in there. Quilt show people if you're going to.
But it doesn't always.
Huh?
But it doesn't always.
It doesn't always, and it doesn't really matter. But if you're having a quilt judge, that does matter to them. So. But
So you're gonna hand sew, but if I were just gonna machine sew that around, I would sew on the other side. I'd sew on that. I'd fold it all over, pin, and then I would sew on the other side on that ditch.
And hope you catch it.
Everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am not successful with that one very well either.
Okay.
I mean, you'd have to have it over where the stitching is in order to catch it.
Right. Okay.
So I don't know how Carrie does that, but.
Okay.
Okay, I'm getting ready to, no, I want to be on this side. I go on this side and I, stitch this, my hand, and then I come up here, stitch down here, and then I will stick my needle through there, and then that's where I'm going to start my sewing.
Hand sewing all the way around.
Yeah, right. But this side, I have to do this first and then back the other way.
Got it.
And I often I will put a pin in there, because on a big quilt, sometimes I can't. Where was that?
Oh, the beginning.
The beginning. This is not going to be that hard. And some people go ahead and, well, that has to be up inside. But they go ahead and clip this, and then take the clips off. Louise Fox told me you can do it all right here. You don't need to clip anything. I mean, pin it or whatever. And then I sew like this. Many people that I've noticed, they hold it like this and they're sewing like this. It's very uncomfortable for me. But if I have this right here, and I usually have a pad or something in my lap, so I can press that down good. And
Great.
Okay,
Thank you.
lesson's over.